Amazon sellers, I get it. The costs are rising. The Amazon fee take rate has now reached 50% of your overall sales. There is inflations, lots of inflations. It gets very tempting to increase that price on your top selling product in order to eke out that immediate boost in profit. But as an Amazon seller, you really should have a long-term view and prevent decisions that are short-term focused and does not give you a long-term benefit, such as a sudden price increase. In this video, I will detail why you should contain that immediate urge to increase the price, especially on your hero product. And I will list 4 things that you can do to boost your overall profits without increasing your price. So stay tuned. I'm Rick Wong, an Amazon seller and the founder of SellerMetrics, an Amazon marketing agency. And if you are interested in content such as this one, where we talk about the latest Amazon FBA news, tips, and hacks, I invite you to subscribe. So I have seen this play out quite a bit as an experienced Amazon seller. I have personally experienced and actually seen it as a third party of what a price increase can do to your Amazon listing. As we know on Amazon, the core metrics that gets you ranked is CTR, click-through rate, CVR, conversion rate, and also your sales velocity. Those 3 core elements are what really gets you ranked, whether you're in the second page or top of your particular keyword that you're aiming for. And increasing the price is basically a key element to those 3 core metrics and has effect and a detrimental effect to those 3 core metrics and potentially could push the ranking of your products lower. If you are successful on Amazon in your niche, right, you are successful at that price for a reason. So probably best not to disturb the actual price to sales velocity equilibrium. The Amazon A9 algorithm also discovers on items that are best priced. So if you're actually doing sales velocity at a certain price, and if you actually increase that, your search visibility actually worsens because the A9 algorithm trying to optimize and try to give the discovery for the best price item. Jeff Bezos, Amazon founder, has said many times that their goal on Amazon is to offer the customer the best price. So if you do a sudden price increase or too dramatic of a price increase, basically you are going against that. And if you have increase the price for too long, and also if the actual increase in price messes up with your core metrics such as CTR, CVR, and enhance your sales velocity, you could go down the negative spiral and it will be very hard to recover from. As I mentioned, I have personal experience and also witnessed this. So once you actually get down to a negative spiral, it's really hard to recover, if at all that you recover. So the risk of a price increase that can have like a permanent detrimental effect on your Amazon product is pretty huge, bro. It's there. So you really want to think about things that you can do to increase your profit without messing with the price. So how should I increase my profit without increasing the price? There is really 4 things that you can do. Number 1, increase your average order value and look at your Amazon listing as a portfolio instead of looking at it individually. Number 2, product packaging, right? You could switch to a more economical packaging. I will get to that later. Number 3, enroll in a small and light program. And lastly, you can also minimize the use of 3PL and basically make your operations in the supply chain side much more lean. So let's get right into ways you could increase your average order value, right? So before I detail how you could actually increase your average order value, it's actually important to look into your Amazon listing as a portfolio instead of individualized listings. So let's go to our business report. So I suggest if you actually want to take a look into your listing as like a portfolio, go into your Amazon Seller Central and then go into reports, business report. Once you're in business report, you're gonna go to parent sales and traffic by child. I'm downloading that report and it looks like this. I give you all this data. So I'm gonna calculate the AOV. So the goal of this number 1 profit optimization is to increase this number right here. So the average order value is basically your total sales, right? Divided by the total units sold. So that would be this column right here divided by this column. Right? And let's just look at this in a per parent ASIN basis. So here you go. So the average order value for this parent and child listing, right, is like $24. So I think the key here is to boost your average order value. So this one right here seems to be like the hero ASIN of the parent and child relationship. The goal here is not to increase the price of this particular listing, but increase the actual average order value of your basket of listing under the parent and child relationship. So how do you actually increase the average order value of your product? So the first option is case pack. So that is adding an additional unit to your listing, right, that you could charge like higher for. So this is a good example of that. So this is like a barn light. So they're selling a 1-pack barn light at $90 and 2-pack barn light at $169.99. Why this would increase your average order value? Because you're giving the customer an option to buy 2 units in one order, which you could charge a higher price. Right. Another upside of this is that the relative fulfillment cost to price is also much better. Your margins will be much better because your relative FBA fees, right, to the actual price itself is much lower. You could be able to fulfill 2-pack of the barn light at a package size that's very similar to the 1-pack, right? Making basically the FBA fees to deliver this product versus this product the same. Right? Therefore, at the end of the day, your profit margin will increase by doing this. The second way to increase your average order value is through bundling, right? So what you can do is that you can see here, right, that there is an ab roller, right? And in this particular listing, they have your ab roller, and then they have like ab roller at $29.99 with the other items as well. So you could also like add bundles to your parent and child listing. Right, so you could potentially bundle it with like a few small items or one small items to increase the price by a couple of dollars to increase the average order value, right? You could also maybe have one that includes like a special ebook or a special guide. I've seen printed instructions of how you do a particular exercise as one of the bundle to like a particular exercise equipment, and they charge extra $10 for it. So those are some ideas you could like bundle your product to increase your average order value. The third way is what I call the loss leader strategy. So the loss leader strategy is basically you can offer one variation lower than the other variations, right? So in this case, this variation right here, the charcoal gray, this is like a plush microfiber non-slip mat. But you can see the other color, right? It's $28.99. So this is what I call the loss leader strategy. Basically, they would keep the pricing of their best-selling variation while they increase the pricing of the other variation, right? The non-hero variation, they increase the price higher than the $26.99 that you see here. Right? And if you want to know more about the strategy, I actually create a video specifically on this strategy. I'll link it on the description below. So you can see like you could increase the average order value by making the sales off of like this hero variation right here, right? So if they actually put all the actual variation at $26.99, then it would stay at $26.99. So since like other products are priced higher than $26.99, their average order value will be higher than $26.99, right? So this is also another way to increase the average order value of your product, right? So before increasing the price, right? So it might be tempting to increase the price for this one, for example. Before you do it, there are other options, right? Add variations, bundles, and also case packing, right? Make sure you exhaust all these options before thinking about increasing price. Second way, product packaging. At the end of the day, you might want to switch to a more economical packaging, such as a PB bag with a header card. So what is a PB bag and a header card? So it's basically a bag with a header card. So PB bag, kind of like this, right? So if you're able to package your package like this, it could save you a lot on packaging costs, first of all. And number two, it can also save you a lot of shipping costs because you're able to pack a lot more product within a carton by packaging like this instead of, say, packaging your product in a box. A box might look much nicer, But at the end of the day, you're an e-commerce business, and what would actually sell your product is actually not the packaging itself, but your Amazon listing. So your priority is your Amazon listing first, product packaging second. So if there is room for you to optimize the cost of your product packaging, please do it, right? In order to save costs instead of increasing the price. Again, you want to exhaust all your profit optimization options on Amazon before increasing the price. So that's number two, make your packaging a lot more efficient. Another way that you could think about lowering your product packaging costs is actually remove some of the packaging add-ons, right? So I remember I sold a consumer electronic, and the consumer electronic came with a zipper bag, right? And that zipper bag costs like maybe 50 cents, right? By removing that zipper bag, I saved that 50 cents. I actually, instead of using a zipper bag, I placed it in like a very nicely designed box. So even without the zipper bag, I did not really lose much in terms of like product presentation. So something to think about if you want to optimize the cost for the packaging. Number three, that would be enrolling in the Amazon Small and Light program. So let's take a look at the Amazon Small and Light program landing page. So you can see here the Amazon Small and Light landing page. So I couldn't really find it on the nav, but this is actually the link right here. Should be pretty easy for you to like copy. So you can see how it works. So basically, if look at the eligibility. So if your product is actually meet a certain size and also weight and also the price, your FBA fee is eligible for like a dramatic decrease, right? So you can see like the small standard here. Actually, let's just say like see the large standard, right? So I believe these fees. So right now I'm selling a product at around this particular fee here, and I believe before the Amazon Small and Light, it was around like close to $1 more expensive. So this could on a per unit basis can decrease your fulfillment costs like quite a bit. And again, you see like the actual price eligibility, it has to be $12 or less. So it will be up to you as an Amazon seller. If your product is priced like maybe like 14, 13, or basically around the price that is around the $12, think about whether it makes sense for you to actually decrease your price to $12 and reap that extra $1 or $1.50 of Amazon FBA fees savings, right? That could actually, number one, increase your profit, and number two, increase your sales velocity, because now that you are pricing lower potentially to your competitors. So something to think about to enroll to the Amazon FBA Small and Light program. I know like there's a lot of product out there probably not eligible, but if your product is, please look into how you can enroll in it. The number four way to optimize your profits without increasing the price would be to minimize or optimize the use of your 3PL, right? So if your supply chain looks like this, you ship your product from the supplier to a 3PL, then to an FBA, you could think about changing your logistics operations to this, right? Ship from supplier all the way direct to FBA and bypassing the 3PL. So there's a pros and cons to this. You are using a 3PL for a reason, but that is not to save costs, right? So the pros to this is obviously you save costs, you save lots of costs because you will do one less trip. And the cost that incurs with that extra trip, that could be storage, that could be shipping, because you need to ship from like 3PL to FBA, the prepping and handling, because the 3PL guys will also charge for handling your goods, right? And normally the 3PL guys are based in US, and the cost for handling the items is quite costly. A lot of times the things that you get them to do, the 3PL to do, such as sticking the label, repackaging, is very, very expensive, right? But if you actually get the supplier to do it, a lot of times they could actually do it for free for you. Number one, their labor cost is relatively low, probably from China or maybe from India. And number two, right, they just want to make sure that you're happy because you're their client, right? They just want to make sure that you're consistently buying the products from them. So they're trying to make you happy. So a lot of like the prepping, the labeling that the 3PL do, they could actually do it for free on supplier side. So another pro is that you shorten your time to FBA. Shorten time to FBA basically means that your cash conversion cycle is shorter. So that's a time from make your first order to money in the bank. And overall, you just have a leaner operations, leaner supply chain, right? At the end of the day, you just really want to simplify as much as possible if you are trying to like scale in Amazon. I know Amazon, you know, a lot of times you're not going to have a lot of staff with you, right? You want to make your operations as lean as possible. A lot of you guys are solo entrepreneurs, right? And it's hard. Don't make it even harder on you. And let's just go over the cons, right? The cons is obviously that there's a higher risk of running out of stock, right? I think 3PL is great, you know, to use like during like say Christmas or Black Friday season, where you need to like front order a lot of inventory to be able to fulfill all the orders during the high season. It's great for that, right? But you don't need to use it like the entire year. So pick and choose the particular seasons that you want to use 3PL. The other ways to mitigate your out of stock risk is that make sure that you don't really need to do this, right, for all your products. So maybe for your hero product, you could decide to store some extra inventory into your 3PL. Just keep it there as your safety stock, right? And then on your normal orders, your normal operations, basically you ship direct from suppliers to FBA. So you use your 3PL as your emergency, right? As your backup instead of using it in your main supply chain operation. So that's our ways to mitigate that out of stock risk. I also create a video about inventory management. So, you know, if you actually want to prevent the risk of out of stock, if you actually want to use this particular supply chain process, check out the video below. I linked it. It's about how I did inventory management that can give you exactly and when to order and how much to order. Right, so check it out. It's a pretty good analysis. If you don't have like a spot on inventory analysis, if you actually use this process, you will run into a much higher risk of stockouts. And obviously in Amazon, the name of the game is to never stock out. Okay, and I know that a lot of Amazon sellers are watching my videos, and if you think I missed something, I'd love to hear it in the comments below. I know there's like a lot of ways for you to potentially maximize your profit without increasing your price, right? And also knowing how sensitive price is to your overall Amazon performance. I just think that it's best to not to mess with it. It's a very lazy way of increasing your profits to the detriment of your long-term success on the platform. As mentioned, price increase, if not done correctly, you'll go down a negative spiral and not recover from it. I think the worst thing that you can do is increase the price and not monitoring the CTR, CVR, and also your sales velocity, right? So if you do increase the price, I would make sure to monitor those metrics like a hawk. If there's any negative effects on your pricing on those metrics, I would make sure to decrease it back to its original form to make sure we recover from your original conversion rate, also click-through rate. So overall, I would say that increased price as your last option, and if you do, monitor those 3 key metrics like a hawk. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you are an Amazon seller and want to grow your business, schedule a discovery call with me in the link below. Until the next video drop, happy selling.